We don't own the copyright to chicken dance, by the way. Welcome, everybody.
The inside says, stop killing our children and us and divest your investments.
Okay, now that we have your attention. It's always good to start a speech with a joke, but it's hard to make jokes when our future is so dire. It's extremely hot again in Portland. Maybe not hot enough to fry eggs on the sidewalk, but hot enough to make people sick or even kill them. Globally and locally, we are seeing climate chaos. What ties Bank of America to climate chaos? Fossil fuels. Bank of America has invested $198 billion with a B in fossil fuel projects in the last 5 years. Wells Fargo across the street has invested $223 billion. And down the street, Chase is the winner of it, if you call that a winner. They've invested $317 billion in fossil fuels. But these chicken bankers are too scared to do the right thing, which is divest from fossil fuels. Well, the yoke is going to be on them. So please join me. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. More and more, the truth about climate change and the impact of fossil fuels is being confirmed. The UN scientific report on climate was released on Monday, and it is irrefutable. Human activities are causing unprecedented and sometimes irreversible climate change. Only immediate drastic action will save us from utter disaster. Luckily, the truth is also coming out about these banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Chase. Their actions, they're financially risky loans for fossil fuel pipelines. Lots of people, governments, and institutions are taking their money out of fossil fuels. They are divesting. So maybe the banks shouldn't count their profits before they're hatched. And maybe, to continue the poultry theme, they shouldn't bury their heads in the sand and ignore climate change. So to remind everyone that these bank CEOs are bird brains and their investments are turkeys, we have a great song written by Wendy that we are going to sing right now. Thanks, Wendy, for that great song. And thanks, everyone, for joining in. So we're not fooled by the greenwashing that banks use to hide their loans supporting climate change. Chase Bank just gave billions in so-called sustainability loans to Enbridge, the Canadian company that is constructing the dangerous Line 3 pipeline in Minnesota. Despite what Chase wants us to believe, sustainability funds do not undo the damage Line 3 causes to Anishinaabe lands and wild rice beds, or to the lives of fish and other beings dependent on the 200 waterways the pipeline crosses. Greenwashing still kills.
Wash it green, it still kills.
Wash it green, oh, it still kills. Wash it green, it still kills. So we need you, the public, to highlight the hypocrisy of greenwashing and the dangers of fossil fuels. We have leaflets with a few concrete actions you can take this week to stop dangerous tar sands oil infrastructure like Zenith Oil in Portland and Line 3 in Minnesota. Please help us spread the word as we work to put an end to this madness and horror. And you can join us in one last round of the chicken dance. We hope that it will turn these chicken-hearted bankers into brave eagles who care more about the people of the world than about their profits. One round of the chicken dance, then we have the Chase Bank.
Hello, thank you for joining. So, you heard why we're here. Banks all around too. So we're headed to Chase Bank up the street. So, it's Portland today. Speaking of, oh my gosh, this guy's got a TV on his head. It's like next level. It's like a pretty good mask, I suppose, and shade from the sun. Maybe some people are allergic to the sun. Anyways, as I was saying, speaking of sticking it to the banks, cryptocurrency is the way to do that these days. And as a technology-focused nonprofit, Halospace is looking for ways to leverage the value of cryptocurrency for community support. So, started a few different projects. If you're technically minded and you're taking part in the Lightning Network, you should send me a message. If you don't know what that is, no big deal. But you can donate to Halospace in Bitcoin now. If you check out the description on the YouTube or Facebook streams, you'll see an address there. And I can share a little bit more later about how to like actually get into that. But I mean, even Cash App now lets you buy Bitcoin right in the app there. It's pretty interesting. It's kind of a craze going on, it seems. But I think that, yeah, decentralizing finance is a huge threat to the government's ability to tax and have control over the financial system. So that's why we're seeing all that new legislation now, taxing the ever-loving crap out of things that wouldn't be taxed in normal markets either, like gains on trades across cryptocurrencies. I'll soon, like I said, be sharing some more about how to do effective things with Bitcoin. There are ways to get by in life with cryptocurrency, and it'll only get easier in the future. Hot and the air quality is pretty poor out here, so I started coughing right away as soon as I came out. Hey Paul, this is Cap. Nice to have you here. Moderation help is always welcome. Oh, another thing to point out too is the security over there at the U.S. or Bank of America was G4S. We want them out of Portland. Most people want them out of Portland. So we're here in my neighborhood. Southeast 39th and Cesar Chavez Boulevard. I said to Hawthorne. This will be chicken dancing soon. Hawthorne Theater has been for sale for a long time. Looks like they got shows going again too.
There we go.
So I know I'm getting old. I know like maybe one of the names on that list. They usually did a lot of metal shows in the past. That and then like random teeny bopper stuff. I saw Lindsay Sterling here. That's actually pretty good. She rocks it on the violin.
Here we are once again at Chase Bank. And once again, it's extremely hot in Portland. Maybe not hot enough to fry eggs on the sidewalk, but hot enough to make people sick or even kill them. What ties Chase Bank to climate change? Fossil fuels. Chase is the worst funder of fossil fuel projects, with $317 billion invested since
agreement 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was
317 billion. But these chicken bankers are too scared to do the right thing, which is to divest from fossil fuels. Well, the yoke is going to be on them. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. Bok, bok, chicken bankers, stop funding oil tankers. The truth about climate change and the impact of fossil fuels is being confirmed. In particular, the UN scientific report is irrefutable. Human activities are causing unprecedented and irreversible climate change. Only immediate drastic action like divesting from fossil fuels will save us. Luckily, the truth is also coming out about these banks' financially risky loans for fossil fuel pipelines. We're going to leave this egg here for these chicken bankers. It has a message to them about the evil that they're doing to us and our grandchildren by funding fossil fuel projects, in particular Line 3 in Minnesota. And lots of people are figuring out that these investments are bad and they are divesting. And the banks should do that too. They shouldn't count their profits before they're hatched because people are divesting and their profits are shrinking. And maybe too, these banks shouldn't bury their head in the sand and ignore climate change. And now to remind these bank CEOs that they are bird brains and their investments are turkeys, we have a great little song.
I'll be happy to not hear the song again for a million years after today.
So we're not fooled by the greenwashing these banks use to hide their support of fossil fuel. They hand out what they call sustainability loans for things like solar panels on bank roofs, but ignore the fact that tar sand pipelines do much more damage. Sustainability funds do not undo the damage Line 3 in Minnesota causes to Anishinaabe lands and wild rice beds, or to the lives of fish and other beings dependent on the 200 waterways the pipeline crosses. Greenwashing still kills. Wash it green, it still kills. Wash it green, it still kills.
One sign is on.
Okay, and so to remind you of the chicken-hearted bankers who are funding climate change, we have a lovely song by Wendy.
I'm going to try to sing along. We'll do a sing-along to this. So it's really easy to pick up, and it's about chicken shit bankers. Hey, closer to the mic.
Chicken shit.
Democrats. The Democrats can't say no to the fossil fuel companies, 'cause they're bought and sold by them and what's more. They're chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit. Joe Biden. Joe Biden can't say no to the fossil fuel companies, 'cause he's bought and sold by them and what's more. Chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit. Instrumental break. Congress. Oh, Congress can't say no to the fossil fuel companies, 'cause they're bought and sold by them and what's more. They're chicken shit, chicken shit, chicken shit.
So we need everyone to help us highlight the hypocrisy of this greenwashing and to contact their public leaders and to contact the bank CEOs. We have flyers and information about who to contact to stop Zenith Oil in Portland and Line 3 in Minnesota. Please help us spread the word and join us in one last round of the chicken dance. We hope it will turn these chicken-hearted bankers into brave eagles who care more about the world than about their profits.
One sign is on. One sign is on.
The number 14 bus leaves from that bus station right there in just a few minutes.
And what is the
We're going
address?
to 811 Southwest 6th.
And if anybody needs,
Y'all really want to do something about climate change, we really need to get involved in rent strikes.
If anybody
Primary
needs,
barrier to reorganizing the economy.
you're right, you're right. If anybody needs
Guy walking by just mentioned rent strikes are important too. Rent strikes. Rent strikes.
Rent strikes?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, strike at the banks.
Oh no, but he means that like rent strikes are important for.
Well, how are you going to do that without feeding people? I mean, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Urban
Yeah.
farming.
That's a good point.
It's a whole systemic approach.
Absolutely.
They do it without organization. Small things here and there are good. Like this is
Yeah, it has to go somewhere, of course.
yeah, it has to be a
Lynn, you want to talk a little bit about what you're up to?
sure, mask or no mask.
You can take off the mask. It's fine.
So, as you can see from the whole thing, we're here to basically tell all the banks to defund from fossil fuels. It makes no sense. We're burning up. 117 in Portland is way hot enough. And we've got Zenith in Portland, and we need to call the city council and tell them to deny the Lux. It's this weird permitting thing they need to continue, and we want them to shut down. The other thing is contacting the Biden administration about Stop Line 3, a horrific pipeline that's going through Minnesota and causing all manner of damage. And overall, all these banks are funding fossil fuels. If you're at one of these banks, tell them. Write letters, make phone calls, tell the bankers right inside. Say, this is not sustainable. We can't do this anymore. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. I really like your, what is that, a mask? I kind of figured, it's really cool. Must be good for shading from the sun too, right? What's that? Oh yeah, yeah. Everybody checking in on the chat and trying to figure out what the strategy will be for getting downtown.
Thank you all.
I missed the lock signal.
I'm actually building up about this stuff.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm building up. I advocate for a
Try to I'm live streaming right now. You want to be on my stream?
Sure. Yeah, my name's Yolotli X. I am a climate activist. I believe we should have a movement, an urban farm movement about climate justice, but specifically addressing food insecurity in the metro area, because if we can address food security as a goal in this decade to achieve, then we're better off trying to achieve all the other things and get more people on board. And I advocate that we do this and get ready for the last day of the year of this decade, 2030, and declare a strike citywide at the least. And we do that with urban farming. If you have farms and if you are like connected to land in the city, definitely figure out how to grow food there. And if you want to get figure out more what we're talking about, contact the Municipal Eco-Resiliency Project. And also, if you think about it in history, if you want to pop off something really big and really it's going to have impact for legacy, well, it takes about 5 years to really do it, and it takes people with land, resources, and ability to grow food. Once and when every time people unite with farmers and farmers are supported by troublemakers, something happens. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get that. What was your name again?
Yolotli.
How do you spell that?
Yolotli.
Okay.
X. So yeah, if you think about the Mexican Revolution, they were supported by farmers and peasants. So it was connected to land. And if you really want change in the future with climate justice, and I'm not talking about me, I just started like a year ago. I've been around climate justice since like 2016, the Paris Accord thing and protests and all that stuff. I get it. I'm just saying, if you really want change, you have to connect all the available land in the city, base the community on that, build an urban farm movement, get the resources, and build a small economy from out of that to support the movement.
Right.
I'm just, yeah,
Okay.
and then you can get a real strike. So think about it.
Okay.
So
That's a great idea. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Go for a little walk before I make my transit downtown. I don't know, maybe you just ride with me in the car, but it'd be easier to pause the stream for a minute. I got room for 1 or 2 in my car if you want to join me.
Hi, everybody. Excuse me.
Or just bus with the group down there. It's cool. Probably see y'all down there.
Absolutely.
At the one on
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
See you soon.
Yep. Okay. So,
Model 3.
I will be back in a little while. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I could leave the stream going while I'm away and have you watch the my little bridge thing, which I can show you right now. But that thing. Yeah, we still got like 20 something minutes, so I'll go ahead and pause this and